Most people, when they start something on the side or they start a business, is like they want the end result in 4 to 8 months. And that's just not realistic to have your end goal of like your business is going to be booming, money's going to be coming in, da 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 da, when something like that takes time. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Creative Struggle. My name is Luke Flex. It's funny. This is my fourth time recording this episode. The first time didn't have the audio on, and I was like, cool. All right, that's okay. I'll go back. I'll turn on the audio. Cool. Filmed it again. Realized I didn't have the phantom power turned on to power this microphone. Cool. Went back, turned that on. And then I realized that something happened with the system that I was running. It just needed to be rebooted. That's all it was. So I shut it down, turned it back on again, and the audio was coming through. It's kind of funny. It's coincidental. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about viewing your life like a marathon, or why you should view your life like a marathon. It's interesting. This is not a new concept. I'm not the first person to discover this. But it's finally clicked in my head. It's interesting. Like, this is really for my young entrepreneurs. This is for anyone under the age of 80. Let's be real. Colonel Sanders started his business when he was, 64 or 65? So let's be real. If you have any desire to like build a business or do a little something on the side, it is totally possible. Getting back to viewing your life like a marathon, most people, when they start something on the side or they start a business, is like they want the end result in 4 to 8 months. And that's just not realistic to have your end goal of like your business is going to be booming, money's going to be coming in, da 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 da, when something like that takes time. Yes, there are businesses that do boom during that time and can really like thrive, but the vast majority of us, it takes time. And most people, when they run into barriers, when they fall on mile 1.5 of the marathon, they sit there and they don't get up. When they have so much potential to do things, but they're just like, it's too hard, or like they just like, they run into a barrier, life gets a little tough, things happen, and they're not able to get back up. And it's literally crushing, because like a lot of people think that like entrepreneurship is this like glamorous, like, it's become like a buzzword, especially on Instagram. Everyone's got entrepreneur in their bio on Instagram. And entrepreneurship is lonely. It is a very, very lonely road. And it also takes a lot of patience, because most people want the end result, like I said, really, really fast. Those are the people who want it fast are not gonna win. They're running a sprint. So when they do fall, they give up. So that's literally the key as to why, if you've ever tried doing something, why you got discouraged, is because you're like, this isn't gonna work out. Something else happened. Like it's you got discouraged and then you stopped. But I'm here to say, if you have any desire, you're an artist, you're a music artist, you sketch, you're a photographer, filmmaker, you want to start a podcast of your own, just be consistent. Just be consistent. Take 1 hour of your night, right now, tonight, instead of spending it watching Netflix or scrolling through TikTok or watching YouTube. Just work on something, research whatever it is that you want to do, and start putting in a little bit of time. You don't have to completely cut out your friends completely or anything like that, but the more time you dedicate to this thing, the more it'll reap down the road in 10 years. You really have to have that perspective. If you are in it for the money, that's nothing to it. If you're in it for the money, or if you're in it for any other ulterior motive than just giving value, you're going to lose. There's a lot of people who are in it for the money, and from the vast majority, most of them are spending it. They're going to live like a king for 2-3 years, and then their money's going to run out. Would you rather have 2 to 3 years of that, or a lifetime of being able to be consistent and being able to do that, but not on such a big scale to where you're blowing your money. Like, you know, from a biblical perspective, like, I view this life super, super short. Whether I live till I'm 97 or I die tonight, my hope is not in this world. Like, I'm not going to be, I'm going to be upset for the people that I leave behind. But my hope is in God. My salvation is in the Lord. And that's what I'm looking forward to. That's where my real treasure is. So you might be saying, okay, that's cool, Luke. So what do I do now? Like, what do I do with my ambition? I know, like, I'm supposed to do something cool. Yes, you are. The Lord has given you that desire to do something great with it. You just have to understand what your motives are. If your motives are to make a ton of money with it, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but if that's your core motive, if you don't make money on that thing in 4 months or 8 months, whatever your expectation is, and you don't hit that, you're gonna get discouraged and you're gonna trip and fall on mile 3. So you have to have something more than just money involved in it. And that's why I started this podcast. I want to document the journey. I don't think I'm going to work at the company I'm working at right now for the rest of my life. I definitely don't think I'm going to be podcasting for the rest of my life. I could be. Maybe this is the thing that, pops off. Or maybe it's me sketching. I don't know. But I'm just going to try something. And I'm just going to be consistent with it. Fitness is just like business. You want to be healthy? Great. Eat healthy and work out. That's it. But most people don't want to do it. They don't want to get up early. They like to sleep in. They like to eat chocolate. And that's okay. But if your desire is to be fit, you're going to have to make those sacrifices. And you've heard it a million times, but it doesn't get any more real than that. You're going to have to make those sacrifices. That's why for my brothers and sisters who are living at home right now, or have their expenses be super, super low right now, this is the time to go ham. This is the time to really capitalize on it. You will never have so much time on your hands than right now. For me, I have so much time. Yes, I have a full-time job, but that's only 40 hours a week. I have 168 hours in a week. Yes, I am getting my 8 hours of sleep at night. I am not saying to cut sleep. You want 10 hours of sleep? That's great. Sleep 10 hours. But tell me what you're doing with the hours that you're awake. Let's just be real. Let me look at your phone activity. Let me see how much time you're spending watching Netflix or on TikTok or YouTube. And those aren't necessarily bad things. But if you have the desire to build something, you're going to have to sacrifice those things. Maybe it's spending one less hour with your friends on Saturday and it's flipping things on eBay. You have to be willing to make those sacrifices, and most people aren't. Or there's kind of two perspectives. Is one, like, you're like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go ham. I'm gonna build this thing, and I'm just gonna put in like a 12-hour day, and you like burn yourself out, or you think you burn yourself out. Versus if you're just consistent. Like for me, I try to just spend 4 to 5 hours a week on my side projects. Just hours. I don't do tasks. Some people that works well to do tasks, but those tasks might take more than 4 to 5 hours. And what happens when you don't hit that? You feel discouraged. So I just try to put in consistent hours each week. And there was a week, I think it was 3 weeks ago, where I did nothing. But I didn't beat myself up about it. So I fell. I tripped. I fell. But instead of me beating myself up, being like, oh, dang it, like, oh, man, now I'm like 4 hours behind. No, like, it's okay. Pick yourself back up. There's a new week coming. Let's try it again. Cool, you did 3 hours this week. That's okay. Let's see if we can maybe do 5 next week. You can't do it next week. That's okay. Consistently put in your 4. Just be consistent. If there's one key trait with any millionaire or billionaire, it's that they are consistent with what they do. It's discipline or regret. You really want to get motivated? Go into a nursing home and ask people what their biggest regret is, or talk to them. It'll always loop back around to oh, how young you are, and how much you don't realize you're so young, and I wish I did this and I wish I did that. just do it. Like, most people are very afraid of other people's opinions. And it's sad that there's so many, like, the greatest rapper alive is probably stuck in produce right now. He could have been, or she could have been, the greatest rapper alive. But instead, so-and-so said, nah, man, you got to work this job. And one thing led to another, and now they're working at a gas station or grocery store. Which necessarily isn't a bad thing, but they had so much more if they just stayed consistent with something. And some of you might be feeling like, that's great, Luke, but I don't have any desire. I like to clock in, clock out, and go fishing in my afternoons or evenings, or I like to just hang with friends. That's cool. If that's truly where you find your joy and happiness, then kudos. Like, I have, my argument isn't with you. It's with the people that say they want to do something cool, great, whatever it is. They want to leave a legacy. It's like, cool. What are you doing about it? Like, what are you doing? Seriously. Not many people take the time to sit down. They want to consume. Like, I know for me, I was also always listening to podcasts, from YouTube video to YouTube video to podcast, and I was constantly filling my brain during this season. And I wasn't really, like, I was hearing one thing, but it was just going right out because I was filling my head with so much content that I wasn't taking time to sit down and write. Like, some of my best ideas have come down when I've just sat down and wrote out some ideas. Okay, what do I really want to do? Why am I doing this? Why am I working this job? Why do I stay up late and work on editing? Why? What is this all for? If you don't understand your core motives, when times get tough, you won't know what to remind yourself of. You have to understand your why. Simon Sinek does a great job explaining your why and why you need it. He literally wrote a book called Start With Why. There's another one called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Fantastic book. I'm only about 2 hours into it, and I'm blown away just about the things I'm able to start applying ASAP. So I hope this is encouraging. If you're around my age, I don't care if you're 28 or 49, and you have a desire, and you have an hour that you can pull away, that you can touch your wife and say, hey, honey, can I just have this hour to just, do some research on this thing? I just want to, start looking at this. Like, or if you're like me and you live at home, like, instead of spending your evenings with friends, or once again, spending it watching endless YouTube videos, maybe spend a little hour of that on something you really want to do. Something that's going to be a little bit more worthwhile, in my opinion. Just something to think about. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like that, it'd mean the world to me if you would share it with someone. Share it with a friend who you feel would get value out of this. I would also love to hear your thoughts in the comments about what sacrifices you've had to make, and if this episode made sense to you, if it clicked. There's probably 15 different ways I need to say it before one of you guys out there, it finally clicks with you. It's taken me a while to understand this, and I hope it's been an encouragement. I hope you get value out of this. That's my end goal. That's all it is. I just want to give. That's it. It would also mean the world to me if you subscribed. And I will see you next week. Peace.